Okay, boy, I'm meant to do this Supernal Channel reading. Give me a second, real quick, y'all. I'm just gonna grab some water. I was not gonna do this, and I went to somehow undo the meeting that I scheduled for this Supernal Channel meeting, and all of a sudden the Zoom started and it started recording, and I thought if that's not a sign I'm supposed to do it. So I'm ill prepared for it. So give me 1 second. I'm gonna grab some water because I know I will need it. Turn on some lights. Okay. I did get a pretty good insight earlier because on the Supernal Channel reading that I was going to be much more prepared for. I wanted to get it in before April 1st because it was my boys. My boys are going to be here in 2 days, y'all. And if you've been with me for any amount of time, in the last year, it's been the hardest last year and a half, almost 2 years that I have been away from them. And for anyone who's ever known me, if you have known me, that might come as a surprise, and it was for me as well. So I wasn't prepared to lose them. I didn't lose them because I'm a wacky and weird mom. I mean, their dad thinks that, but not clinically, or no government agency said I had to be away from my kids. It literally was, they were meant to be on this journey, and they were given a choice, and they chose not to go on the journey. And as humbling and as hard as that was for me, it was one of the biggest lessons of my life. I've stepped into this greater role as a spiritual leader, because I had the time to master myself. I had time to go on a spiritual journey for the last 2 years without being identified as a mom. I was identified, like, I found my own identity again. So there was a lot of grief and a lot of heartache in these last 2 years. And at the same time, there was so much healing. There was, it was painful at times, and now it's not. I get it. I get things in such a greater way, that it just, being away from my boys for these 2 years expanded my mind beyond anything that I had ever imagined for myself, which means I have grown my perspective and vision I have of this world in a way that now I can hold that vision for myself and leave this world a better place for my kids. So I have put myself through an education of a different kind in these last 2 years, and I'm using the gifts that unfolded as a result of that in these Supernal Channel readings to be able to see a higher perspective, to see a much wider perspective of what we're transitioning through, and sharing those perspectives. So yeah, so in 2 days my kids are going to be here. We will be reunited. That's really exciting. And yet I have this bigger and bigger growing feeling of the Storehouse social being of such great importance right now. And you'll be seeing what it is. It literally tickling every ounce of my, like, down to my soul, as I giggle with the ideas that are coming forth. I don't even know, it was a Supernal Channel, I think it was a reading about a wave of light has been ignited, and and it's coming out in action at this point. It's developing, and it is we are building a house here. I'm starting to build the house and the framework out, and you will see it in Storehouse Social. If you are there, you will see it. You will see new rooms, new spaces opening up. As a creative and as an author, I love a good fairy tale. I love a good fantasy book. And I'm making Storehouse Social into an experiential, whimsical experience when you come in as the leader you are, because a leader is just someone who has an open mind to learn to perceive more. And when they learn and perceive more, then they can lead and influence more. So that's what Storehouse Social is here to be. And yet I also want it to be fun. So I'm creating these little portals that you can walk through, different rooms, secret rooms in the Storehouse that you only find from entering in another room and conversing with people and finding, either speaking to people who give you the clue or give you the password, or you have to go through the content. And as you go through the content, you're only going to expand your perspective. You're only going to increase your wellness, your wealth, and your wealth is your health. This is only good for your health by being here. And it's a whimsical and fun experience for me to build the Storehouse, to build the foundation. And I'm just waiting for more people to want to have fun and to express themselves and to bring their light into the Storehouse, and be a beacon of light to invite people into a house that they are free to browse around. They are encouraged to snoop around, and they're going to find little goodies along the way and little mystical portals into smaller rooms or larger rooms or secret gardens, because that all exists in the Storehouse. So this is all under construction as we speak. And then I somehow got on talking to you all. So I'm going to go ahead completely unprepared, but not nearly, unwilling to do this. I love Supernal Channel meetings and readings, because we're kind of like meeting our guides and pulling ourselves up to that higher frequency of spiritual communication, and asking our guides, our Supernal Channel, those who are in our Supernal Channel, who the teams that are assigned to each of us. Eventually this is going to be a bunch of us, because in the Storehouse, I am not the guru. I'm not here to do all the things. I don't want to do all the things. I want to play too. So I am just here doing these Supernal Channel readings and hoping others come in and want to do other things that will excite people, and we can have all of these different circles. So let me ground myself down and take some water. What's really exciting is April's theme. When I did the original Supernal Channel reading back in September, maybe, for the whole year, for the whole Jubilee year, each month has had a theme, and we've kind of created and designed conversation and peace talks around those themes. As we move into April, the theme for April is healing. But what I got is a higher perspective of healing that we can expect, and again, remember, there's all 8 billion people are on 8 different stages of this evolutionary journey that we're on, this increase that we're in, and it's accelerated. So each person is on their own time. Okay. So if you are here, this healing at this point is now the pole switch is going to occur. Okay, it's occurring now. We just went through 3 days of light here. I need to explain that. I have to do a video on that too. But for now, we're here. And we are all resonating with this. We all are here in the Storehouse at this time, which means we all have a like frequency. So we're in the same stage, so to speak. We're in the same stage of our ascension, of the same wave. We're all surfing it together, which means what I got is that the healing for up until now, healing has been this like rigorous, painful, dense, tiresome, exhausting process that for me sometimes felt like it was endless. And I'm not naive enough to say it's ended, but like there's nothing left. There is nothing left. There is nothing left for me to fear. I did the worst thing possible for a parent. I had to lose my kids, and I lost them before I was ready. I had no preparation. They were just gone. They did not pass away in physical space, but they did. They were just gone and they didn't choose me, so I went through the worst possible thing and had to grieve all of that. So the healing process, but on the other side of that, now I'm free from my kids. You know, I have, they know from day, like every single time I talk to them, I'm like, I love you. And if you ever change your mind, your mama's waiting for you to come home. Like, I'm willing to make dinner every night. I'm willing to exhaust myself being your mom. But right now I'm free. And I didn't choose that. I was just put in that role, and it was a hard freedom to get used to. That healing, that healing to get me from being identified as a mom, which lost my higher self, which lost my own higher, identity. I was this person that it had to be perfect in all ways, and motherhood was a really big one. So going from like detaching from that identity to becoming my higher self and allowing that identity to take over, that identity as mom, I understand why spirit had to take me to where it did, and that was physically away from my boys for 2 years almost. Not quite, but let's call it 2 years because it's felt like 18 years. So, that's what the healing process has felt like ripping just blood out of you, ripping, I mean, the pain of these energetic cords and these detachments and all of the things that we've had to heal from, which were wounds of our own doing. Like, we accepted all of them. We said yes to all of them. And your ego might be like, I didn't ask for that. No, but you did in some way. You intentionalized it in some way by living in the lower realms of existence. That's just what that world teaches us. That's how we get, our juice. The juice comes from the drama, and we create dramas in our head by making up stories that don't really exist, and then worrying and fretting and thinking about and depressing into and being anxious and overwhelmed with all of it. There comes a point where that's just done. Like, a leader then is like, enough. Somebody has to step up and say, enough is enough. These identities and these lies and these deceptions that we have agreed to have made us poor. We are literally bankrupt as far as the whole intelligence of a human being. We are spiritually poor and bankrupt. We are mentally and emotionally. Look at any of the statistics. I mean, I don't need to barrel them off. Look up this stuff. Financially poor, most people. And it's just going to get worse if you're seeing the writing on the wall, right? If you're a leader, you kind of look around and be like, oh, I see where this is going. This isn't going to a good place. So people are going to be financially poor, even more so, which our world can't afford, right? We can't afford anyone to drop any more in poverty, right? But we've got the other end going so high. I didn't even know people had that kind of, like, I didn't know, like, multi like 3 figures worth of billions is what people are worth. Like, I can't even understand that. I can't understand that, because that kind of wealth solves all the problems in the world. And like, we've got many people who have that ability and they don't. So this is the pole shift. This is the pole shift that's happening. That consciousness is taking our world down. But there is a whole new level of leadership that have, while all this noise is going on, been in the center, been in the hermit mode, been in training mode, healing, letting go, reframing, reprogramming the mind, understanding that we have been completely corrupted by a deceptive world that just kind of got, like, whispered down the lane over, tens of 20, like thousands of years, turns out to be a pretty big freaking lie. And it was intended to be a lie. So we are really far from the truth, which means we are completely not the wrong direction, but we are in the upside down direction. And, everything is going to our heads at this point. Everything is going to our heads. So the priorities, the principles, morals, values are all way below the expectation that I hold for myself, and I certainly hold for my kids. So if I am holding high expectations of life, not because I want all the things, but because I want to experience all of the things. I want to experience all that life has to keep evolving and learning and growing and having it be fun and exciting and living in a fantasy world, because that's the only way I can survive this world, is to have my imagination just think happy thoughts. And all of a sudden those happy thoughts become my reality. That's been how I've just processed through a lot of shit. Right? So we've been on this healing journey, and we have all learned our coping mechanisms. We have all learned that, we learn modalities to help us with healing, to help others with healing. But we've been on this healing journey, and now we lead the way to help everyone else who is still poor and bankrupt and unhealthy. They're waking up and they're looking for people to lead them. How do I get here? How do I get through this mess? How do I transcend my bankruptcy spiritually, in my finances, in my work, if I'm bankrupt, I'm spiritually, mentally, physically just bankrupt. I've got nothing else. Where do I start? They are looking for places to come to. We will be there to serve if we step up in spiritual leadership, because now is the time for those of us who are resonating with each other now. Our healing journey takes the pole shift. The pole shift is happening this month in April. We are healing our direction. We are healing our direction, which means, holy crap, everything switches. Are you like hearing this? This is something to really pay attention to, because this is feeling really, it's feeling really important. It's feeling really important for me to just stop here and say, are you listening? Listen between my words. I'm speaking to your soul. So, I'm speaking to your soul. Hold on, my mom just texted me. Let me tell her. Oh, I'll tell her later. Okay. Mama, I don't need any chicken pieces. So she'll see this later and know that I had every intention. I got the text, but I just don't want to interrupt. But I just did. So life, right? We flow with life. Like this is the spiritual leader. There, like all of life, my work right here and my attention to you is in the moment. And so is when my mom comes into the moment, she gets my attention because she's important to me. And I have chosen to have her here and step back and then regroup. What's more important, to return a text or to keep going with this conversation? My awareness comes back to you. And we just flow with life, the interruptions, the distractions, and we keep going with the message that is coming in. Our healing is happening. The pole shift of healing is happening in April, which means to me that instead of healing happening because we have to move through the pain on this conversation, if you resonate now, we are now moving into a space in time where we are kind of moving up and diagonally into a new timeline where healing comes from experiencing the expansion. So we get to then heal and experience a different reality. Okay, so let me go back to the healing that you will probably know, the painful kind, right? So you have an awareness, there's grief, you go into the grief, you feel the grief until it subsides, because it always does. And once it subsides, then on the other side, you're in a new reality, and that reality feels lighter. It feels, because you've removed that denser energy, you remove that grief, you've removed that darkness, so you are lighter. So you start to see and feel things differently, because you are lighter. So your reality changes. So you go from being constricted in grief to healing. So now you're like, okay, so you have a new experience. Change that around. You now have to start healing and experiencing those experiences of human life that expand you quickly. Joy, oh my God. Happiness, oh my gosh. My heart just exploded. Blows your mind because I never even knew that existed. You know those moments, you've had them. And we remember them, yes, but we remember usually the ways that we grow through pain, because there aren't enough of the ways in this denser, darker world we've been in. There haven't been as many opportunities to grow through expansion. So we had to grow up and out through the muck and the density of earth, right? For us to find the light. We had to bloom. So now we're blooming into a different world that exists at a higher level, where expansion comes from expanding moments. And we have to heal the unknown of that, which means we have to experience it. We have to feel what it feels like for joy to rip out like through our hearts, that we think that our heart's going to pop out, right? We know that experience from fear. But have you like let's have one after another experience of, oh my God, I felt like my heart just jumped out of my chest because of I just felt joy. Oh my gosh, my mind has just been blown. That thing makes my life so much easier, and I didn't even know it existed. Those things are coming into our world to be healed, because it's still a wound if we don't know that there is a whole world in existence right now that it can make our whole life easier, take off the stresses, give us the sustenance that is free and our sovereign right to have spiritually. Sovereignty is our birthright. Abundance is our birthright. So we've had our birthright taken away from us. This is when we learn what really is our birthright. That part of us in this conversation at this level of resonance. Okay. At this level of resonance, we're all seeing this kind of perspective and feeling it because you're gravitating to my conversation, which means you're resonating. A whole new world of healing is unfolding in April. And this is going to be in physical form. In physical form. We've covered all of this stuff energetically a year ago. It's taken this whole wave, you know, a solar cycle of a year, linear. We're going to use the, old school terms just so we're all on the same page. All last year, you can look at daily tune-ins. I was still doing those, I think, this time last year. And then into peace talks. All of this energy that we've been moving and purging is now, the Jubilee year is the manifestation of that. Jubilee year started in September of 2022. We're a good half, I don't know, 2/3 of the way through, kind of something like that. My math is bad, but you get it. We're a big jump, quantum jump into the Jubilee year. And we've started to see things trickle into our realities. But April is the time. April is the portal of time when we just go and we rise. We ascend really quickly, really intensely, really expansively. And that is going to be, there's going to be some fear to that. It's going to be a completely different fear because you're going to trust just expansion, but you're just going to be like, holy crap, how is this? What is happening? What is happening right now? How is this happening so quickly? So it's going to be intense, but you will not have any of like the old dense fear. It'll just be like, holy shit, fear. And at the same time, you understand it. So there is a lot of dots being connected, a lot of seeds being grounded now and electrified into poof, coming into your reality in April. I'm going to stop that there because I think that's all the energy we need to get this message through. This was, usually Supernal Channel readings include cards and stuff. Let's just do one card, I guess. I'm just gonna I don't know what that was. That was kind of exciting. So I'm going to pull a shadow card just so we have something to pay attention to while we're in the expansion mode, because there's still going to be, there's always something to be looking out for as far as the denser, darker sides of our programming. We're still, but we're just cleaning up like the little piddly stuff. It's not anything that hurts. It's just like, oh, that's weird. Yeah, I totally let that go. Like it's just easy, right? It's the expansive way, because you're like, that was that easy. But what are we going to be paying attention to? Let's see. This card says superficial. Oh, okay. This is talking to me. You care too much about outward appearances. Start with your inner work, your value, your self-esteem, your personality. Okay, so start with the good stuff on the inside, and don't worry so much about your appearance. That's funny because that's just, I've been talking about my nails, and my nails are so gross, and so I finally just decided to just take care of them myself, and I painted them last night. But again, like I'm worried about my outward appearance at the moment, and that's kind of been on my mind a lot. And my hair like just needs a haircut, all the things, just all the things I'm sorting out with just being new and finding my way here in this, in this new world. It just, things are taking longer than I want to to come into my reality, and someone to do my nails is one of those. So the world is good. My world is good, because I'm just upset because I don't have my nails done. But I do know, but here's the lesson. What I finally came to terms with is I kept looking at my nails saying, ew, like they're never this short. I have pretty nails, and they just haven't been pretty for months and months and months. So, and I've been telling them that you don't look, you're not pretty, you're the shortest you've ever been. I sit there and I gnaw on them and make them look uglier. But all that is doing, if we think about that in healing, is just resistance. It's just pushing away these nails wanting to come alive. So it's the very thing, like, what do you look at? What are you looking at in a superficial way and being like, oh, that looks terrible. I wish that looked different. I wish I was skinnier. I wish my spouse was, whatever. I wish I had the bigger, car. And I think like those of us in this conversation, it's not that superficial so let's then go up higher. What does superficial mean to me? Like, I mean, yes, worrying about my looks, because I understand now when I'm just like, oh, you're ugly, why they don't want to grow. Okay. So that thought process is pretty natural. And finally I was like, you know what? I need to take care of these guys if I want them to grow, if I want them to look beautiful, if I want them to be touched and nurtured by a professional. That's why I can't find someone to do my nails, because I don't like my nails to have somebody do. So this is a metaphor. I hope you're getting this. All the things that we just kind of go in circles about is really the very thing that we're pushing away from it coming into our world, because there's resistance there. There's I want, I need. That's a lack. That is a lacking, scarce tone of frequency to have. Nothing wants like, nothing wants to come like up to an ugly energy. You're like, ooh, no thanks. I'll turn and I'll go the long way around just so I don't have to go through this energy. That's what I'm creating when I'm like, my nails are yucky. I want my nails to be pretty. I want someone to do my nails, and I want, blah, 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 blah. Rather than just saying, damn, I'm grateful that I do have really pretty nails. So much so that I know that they're pretty when they like, but I put a thing on it, right? When I do that. So all of this to say, I want you to see how we're breaking things down, because it's going to come down to these minuscule little tidbits that still need to be healed, but are so subtle that you may miss them, but they're creating a resistance for bringing the whole tidal wave of expansion into your world. That's why you've got to be preparing. You're like, where is my mind just like spinning? And the beauty of right now on this resonance is it's just spinning over stupid shit that's so easily fixed, that's not fixed, that's so easily reframed, so easily transmuted. Oh wait, Vedette, how long are you going to be in resistance of these nails? Let's just love on them. Let's just give them a pretty, and I picked a color that was like the dragonfly on Storehouse Social. It's called peacock, and peacocks have been a symbol in my world. I had my new peacock earrings on earlier. They hurt my ears, so I took them out. I saw peacock crossing the other day, and then I saw like something else with peacock. Oh, I got these beautiful stones, these peacock ore, and it's, I'll show it to you on the next Peace Talks. It's the most beautiful mineral. It grows, or not grows, but it's around here. It's found around here where I am. So you can bet when I'm walking now, I am looking down at the ground. I am grounding this idea to be able to find a honey hole of peacock ore that I can find for myself, because it would bring nothing but joy. I don't know if it'd bring riches, but it's not like finding gold. I'm in gold country too. So Mother Earth has a load of abundance that is to be found, uncovered, revealed, shaken loose in April. And what is uncovered, what is revealed, what is shaken loose, anything like that in the physical world, hear my words, in the physical world, whatever is shaken loose and needs to be released is this. It's when the light opens, and that's when all of it happens. The expansion, the light of expansion is here. Okay, hope you feel this message. Hope you feel it in your soul, wherever you feel that. I always point to this, but that doesn't mean that's where it is for you. But if my soul's speaking to you, we're aligned, and we're about to go places in April. So be prepared, which just means be curious. Be curious to say, what is that? I should follow that. That's curious. I'm going to go see what that's about. I've had a lot of those moments in the last 3 days. I just said on the beginning of this, I had 3 days of light. It was just clue after stepping stone after breadcrumb, finding one synchronicity after another, bam, ba bam, ba bam, ba bam, ba bam. And it was like I knew something was happening. Something is happening now, and stuff is being organized into matter, and it's going to go and it's going to rumble a little bit. Of all the ways that sound and a rumble can come into your world and all the possibilities, look for it in April, because that's when the moment of expansion just breaks open. I don't have a day. I don't know anything more than that. Just healing happens in April, and it's the pole shift experience of healing. Hallelujah. I will receive some healing and have it feel good. How about you? Let me know what you think of this. Let me know any thoughts that come up. We are a community. We all have perspective on this because we're resonating. It just means that you're looking from over here, I'm looking from over here. And if we have a big, ball of energy, maybe I can't see what you can see. So I need you to share. I just shared from my perspective, you share, and maybe we can connect even more dots in the comments. So happy April. Love to you all. Mwah. Bye-bye.